Dr. Latif Ajibade. You're welcome, sir. Okay, so you want to take?
Praise God. I'm so happy to be here once again. This is my house. It has become my place where I act on the other side to be able to meet and learn also something new as part of my own life growing up. And to start the event today, like my brother said, he didn't tell you the whole story, Mr. Joseph. He's one of the newly appointed Africa Construction Work Association in Doha from the Ministry of Labor. So he is representing the Nigerian community at the level of the Africa Construction Work Association with the Ministry of Labor. We just appointed him a few weeks back now. So you have somebody in-house also who can really open up, who can tell you what are the real thing, the new thing that is going on within the Ministry of Labor in Doha, within your system also. So I will invite Dr. Omar to do a brief, and then I will take it from him after. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Peace be with you. My name is Dr. Omar Farah. I come here on behalf of African Unite Qatar. Thank you for welcoming me for this discussion. The theme that we have today is Know Your Rights, Know Your Realities. You have to stay rooted and stay rising. Dear brothers and sisters, it is a privilege to speak with you today, not just as a fellow African in Doha, but carriers of legacy, dignity, and divine purpose. We are here to reflect, realign, and rise. Because living abroad is more than earning a living. It's about living wisely, walking upright, and shining with the light of Africa. Understanding the landscape of where we are today. That is the first aspect that we have. For you to be able to live anywhere, you must be able to understand the environment. If it is hot, you dress down. If it is cold, you dress up. It will be unfair for you to stay in a cold environment when you're bare, because that is going to be a problem for you and your health. So like that, the understanding of the landscape of this country, Qatar offers many opportunities. Some of them we have managed to get them. Qatar is actually 80% expats, 20% citizens, so that is something that we have to be happy about, that we have been hosted, and luckily we are able to even pray together in our own confines. Qatar offers many opportunities, but it also comes with expectations. To thrive here, we must understand both the social and the legal realities that shape our daily lives. We must ask ourselves 3 questions. Are we aware of our rights? Are we honoring our responsibilities? Are we building value or drifting towards vice? While we are here, we are having a spiritual compass. A spiritual compass is necessary for us to be able to be grounded to the purpose of life. Let me remind you of a timeless truth. The pleasure of people is something you can never achieve, But the pleasure of the Lord, God the Almighty, is something you should never leave. This is our compass. In every decision, every challenge, every moment of doubt, seek what pleases God. That is where peace begins. I'm here to discuss about the social aspect of us being here. Dr. Adibaji will talk about the legal aspect. So allow me to dwell in that. Now, looking at the social aspect, we have to dig deep in the social wisdom. To live well in Doha, consider these principles. Respect the culture. We are guests. Let our presence reflect grace and humility. Avoid harmful habits, gossip, substance abuse, and reckless behavior. Don't change or have bad reputation. They derail destiny. And that will also affect your country of origin. Because when any African origin person does anything in Doha, it's not Kenyan, Nigerian, Ghanaians, or any other person in African nation, but Africans have messed up. So remember, you carry the flag of the African Union. Stay connected, just like now. Isolation breeds confusion. Community brings clarity. Support one another. Share knowledge like we do now. Mentor the youth if we have them among us. Celebrate each other's progress. On legal awareness, he will look at it, but he will look at understanding the law. But remember, understanding the law is not an option, but it is essential. Know your visa terms. Your legal status protects you. Understand your work rights, contract matters. Keep copies. Ask questions. Avoid shortcuts. What seems to be easy may cost you tomorrow. So remember, shortcuts are the easier way to the wrong place. Ladies and gentlemen, I truly believe that you know why you're here. And as your brother, I take this opportunity to remind you again. Let us be known not just by where we work, but how we walk. Let us be remembered not just for what we earn, but what we build. Let us rise together, shine together, and stand together. And above all, let us never forget the pleasure of people is something you can never achieve. But the pleasure of God, the Almighty, is something you should never leave. Africa unite, we rise together, we shine as one, we carry the light of Africa. As I exit the stage after looking at the social aspect of the theme today, join me in welcoming Brother Dr. Abdul Latif, the President of NIDO, to dive into the legal aspect. Brother Abdul Latif, welcome to the podium.
Good afternoon once again. I'm going to have a little discussion, which I would love it to be an interactive one, so that we'll be able to enjoy the way the presentation is going to go. And what I'm going to discuss today is a reminder of what governed us here, a reminder of what brought us here to Qatar, and also a reminder of what is our right, fundamental rights, our legal rights, and what is expected of us also as a country. And I've divided them into four specific areas. First one is going to talk about the specific related laws that govern us as migrant workers in Qatar. So we should be able to understand what are the laws that we need to comply with for us to have a safe and good contribution in this country called Qatar. The second one is going to be on our fundamental right as a migrant worker. Because we're a migrant worker doesn't mean we don't have a right. International Labour Organization also give us a right. Same is also the Minister of Labour in this country give us a right. The third one has to do with legal obligation of us as workers in this country. And then the fourth is going to go about, yes, we have the right. The employer, the labor employer also has the right to terminate their contract if you violate some legal rights that belongs to them also. So we need to look at what are the things that you can do that can cause an immediate termination to your contract in this country. And then the final one, we have to talk about wage protection system called WPS. We are working at the end of the month. We're supposed to have our money, our salaries in our accounts. Are we getting them? What are the ways we're supposed to be getting them? If we are not getting them, what are the legal rights that you're supposed to follow to be able to get those your wages? These are the 5 stages I'm going to discuss today as we move on. I think, can I have the slide? Yeah. On the slide, you can see what I put there. The rules versus the realities on worker rights under the laws and everyday issues of migrant workers. I'm going to tell you the rules. Then we'll discuss the realities of what you're facing where you are. Then we'll be able to balance it. And let me tell you this, standing on this podium, I have the full backing rights of the government of this country as an appointee, as a community advisor to the Minister of Labour, along with Dr. Farah that just spoke, and our brother that is not available here, Mr. Ali Guma. 2 weeks ago, 3 of us were appointed from the African community as the community advisor for the African communities. So whatever I'm going to give you today is things that you should be able to have the right, the strength to ask and defend anywhere you go in this country. First thing is, there are 3 specific laws that govern us in this country, which we need to please take your time to go through them. I'm sure the organizer is going to provide this slide to every one of you after this seminar, so you can also have your time to go over it, because I cannot go through because of time. The first law that governs us as a migrant in this country is law number 21 of 2015. This law regulates the entry, exit of expatriates and their residency in this country, which call it the residency law. Everyone in this hall is in this country because you have what they call a sponsor visa, or you call it a work visa. Means a company find you competent and decide to employ you through obtaining a visa from the Minister of Labour, approved by the Minister of Interior to get you here in this country. If you don't have such kind of document, it means you are here illegally. So you need to start checking yourself. There is a law that governs that if you violate it, there are consequences. So this is the first thing we need to also look at. Second one is law number 14 of 2004, which is called the labor law. This law is what governs you as a worker, as an employee at your workplace. It tells you what is your right. It tells you what is the fundamental right you have, your legal right, and also the right of the employer, the employee also at the same time. This law contains all these regulations that we're looking at. And the last one that affects us most also is law number 15 of 2017. We call it domestic law. We find many of our sisters who are working domestically in the house. From experience, from discussion, we've come across a lot of violations that come from this aspect of this area. And because they don't know their rights, Many of them fell victims and died in silence. They don't even know who to talk to. They don't know how to approach or report these cases that they're facing in-house as they're working as a domestic worker. And this is what we are trying to highlight ourselves today so that we can be able to understand that. And the next slide, please. If you look at the next slide, it's talking about the fundamental right of workers under the provision law of 14 of 2004 and law 25 of 2015. The first one there, which I'm sure everybody will like, what? You don't have any right to pay any recruitment fee or cost to be in Doha. It's a law. All costs regarding your visa application, whatever it has to be with the government, supposed to be paid by the employer. That is the law. And this includes the cost of securing your QID and its renewal. Your QID is supposed to be paid for by your employer. The renewal is supposed to also be done by your employer. This is a law that if any employer violates it, you have the right to approach the Minister of Labor about it. Second one is a contract. And from our daily activities and issues that we've been attending to within the community, this is where many of us failed. They said there is no excuse in the ignorance of the law. Many of us don't even have a contract to start with. How do you want to come to me as your community leader and tells me that I have a problem with my company, they have not paid my salary for 3 months, I want you to go and help me to find a way to resolve it. And the question I'm asking you, can I see the copy of your contract? And you're telling me, I don't have a contract, I don't have a copy. That is the first failure of your request. That is the first failure of your request. Because without a copy of your contract, that's what is put on now. If you don't have this kind of copy of paper in your possession as an employee under any employer, please start asking questions starting from Sunday when you resume back to work. The Ministry of Labor, we always issue this type of contract copy to you as an employer where you have to sign it and your employer must also sign it and you are required to have a copy to yourself. So when you come to me as a community leader and complain about non-payment, when I have this kind of copy of your contract, I can be fully ready to defend you with everything that we have in our cups. Because there are requirements in this contract that the employer must always what? Fulfill. And that one of them is your salary. But if you don't have them, I'm going to tell you how you can check it yourself. Every one of us has mitrash. I will teach you today how you can get it on your mitrash if you have a signed contract with your current employer. So if you don't have it on your mitrash, please, I would advise you to start working on how to get it. And be sure you are employed according to the law of the state of Qatar. This is very, very important. And number 3, on that for fundamental right, is your passports, your QID card, your ATM possessions should be in your possession. We've gotten a story where some of our brothers and sisters will tell us that their employer have their passport in their hand. It's a violation of the law. Your employer should not have your passport in their hand. They don't need to have it in their possession. It is your personal property. Some employer are not even giving you your ATM, like the salary they're paying to an account they don't have. It is your personal possession. The law says any employer that holds your passport is liable to be fined between 10,000 to 25,000 Qatar riyal. It is the law, not said by me. but the labor law. So if you don't have your passport with you, please, you have your right. It is your right to demand for it from your employer, and it is their responsibility to give it back to you without wasting any time. Number 4. The working hours in Qatar. You're required to work 6 days per week, basically most of the private company. And the people who work more on the government side are working 5 days per week. Maximum hours of work should be 48 hours in a week. That's why you said your working hours are supposed to be 8 hours, and when you multiply 8 by 6, it gives you 48. The extra 2 hours most of us are having, they are called overtime. Overtime, which is supposed to be paid for. Overtime, which sometimes if you feel your body cannot take more than the 8 hours, you have the right to say, I'm sorry, I'm not going to work for the next 2 hours. This is not by me, it's by the law. And also on that, we have some people who are working extra hours. You know, some of us, they work in some sectors where they give them work, to work more than overhours. Most of these hours are called overtime. It has to be paid. And like I said, when you have the slide, you'll be able to go through it more and be able to understand step by step the requirement. Because I cannot have, the time is not enough for us to really be, we have a lot of things to go through. So we need to go about it. So then we have the basic wage plus not less, if you're having any overtime, it has to be your basic wage plus not less than 25% of your salary. That's how they increase it for the overtime. This is, whatever I'm getting to you here is what is stated in the labor law of Qatar. They're telling you that except for shift workers, because some shift workers, you know, maybe they work morning shift, some are working afternoon shift. Those ones are also different. Can I go to number 5? One day off. Everybody working, we are not robots. Even the robot these days, I'm sure, their battery went flat. We have to let them rest and recharge. We need to recharge. So the government of Qatar understands the fact that you need to recharge after working for 48 hours in a week. You're supposed to have 1 day off. If you are not going to take your day off, it's your right. If the company said, you have to work tomorrow, it is your right to say yes or no. But if you are going to work on your day off, the salary is going to be more increased than what you paid you per day in a normal day work. So everybody has a right to have 1 day off per week, which usually is Fridays, like today, and you are free to spend your free time outside your workplace or accommodation, because we have gotten cases where people are on their day off and the company refuses to allow them to leave the accommodation. So what are you calling it day off for? They are off today. Why you lock them inside the accommodation? That is, you are trying to violate their human rights. So your day off should be spent the way you want it to be spent. It's your right. So if any employer is locking you inside your accommodation, on your day off doesn't allow you to go out, we are going to provide our contact details to our brother. Please give us a call. We will come and say hi to them and see how it's going with them. We are not the one coming as Dr. Latif. I'm coming as a representative of Minister of Labor, which they give us the right to ask questions within our community and give them a feedback. So please, it is your right to be on off day and spend it the way you want it. And the next one there, it's we have what we call, in 2020, the basic wages was passed into law. Like, this is the minimum you have to pay any employee working under you. And it's called a non-discriminatory minimum wage. It means it's overboard. It doesn't have to do with only the African section or Asian or whatever. As long as you are an employee in the state of Qatar, this is the minimum that you have to be paid. And we have a basic salary of 1,000 riyal. We have what we call a 500 riyal for the housing allowances and 300 riyal for food allowances, making a total of 1,800 riyal. So if your company is paying you less than 1,800 riyal, we need to question why and how did they get their own law guiding them. And that is why you must have a copy of that contract I showed you earlier. To be able to understand what they are paying you, is it according to the law or they're just doing it based on what they want to save and make profit for themselves. Can I move to the fundamental right so that, okay, I think I can take the one on the sick leave. Yeah, thank you. If you understand the system of work in this country, socialization is something very hard to manage. To get time to relax. I'm not talking of people who are working 2 p.m., they close and they go home. We are talking of we that works till 5:30, 6 p.m. From 7 a.m. in the morning till 6 p.m., we are still grinding with the road work, with the infrastructure, with what? With pressure from everywhere. We get tired. And the law also protects us. That's why the law says there is paid leave. As an employer, as an employee, you have the right to a paid leave. And this is how the law stated it. The first 2 weeks of your leave, your salary should be fully paid. When I'm talking of leave, I'm not saying you just stay in the house and call your boss that I'm sick. It has to have a sick leave certificate stamped and signed by an approved doctor in the state of Qatar. This is the law. So 2 weeks, if you are sick and you're in the house for 2 weeks, your salary should be fully paid, untouched. That's what the law says. If you are going to be in the house and you have extra 2 more weeks, making it 4 weeks, they are going to pay you half salary. I hope it's clear. If you are 2 weeks, you are on 2 weeks sick leave, you should receive your salary fully, no deduction. If you are in 4 weeks, means after the first 2 weeks, the doctor told you that no, you cannot return back to work now, you still have to have another extra 2 weeks. That month's salary will be half paid. That gives you 4 weeks. But when you leave is getting out of, is going more than usual. I said if you extended leave after the initial 6 weeks of paid and half paid leave, when you use 2 weeks plus 4 weeks, you have 6 weeks already of sick leaves. Those 2 weeks and 4 weeks give you 6 weeks. Means fully paid for the 2 weeks, the other 4 weeks will be half paid. After these 6 weeks, and you are still finding a duration of, you are feeling too sick, from 7th week to 12th week, you are not going to receive any salary. That's what the law says. And those weeks we're talking about has to be confirmed, attested by approved doctors in the state of Qatar. And the employer, because the government cannot just be defending the employee without protecting the interests of the employer also. If after 2 weeks, after 12 weeks, that is 12 weeks is almost like 3 months, and you are still not fit to continue work, the employer has the right to terminate your contract. Because you have to put yourself in the shoe of the employer also. They need production. 1 month, you're sick. 2nd month, you are not available. means they are paying somebody to do your job, and they're still paying you. So that's double way. Now, the third month again, you are not there. As long as the doctor confirms that you are not still fit after 12 weeks, the employer has the right, supported by the law, to terminate your contract. So if you come and tell, and they terminate my contract, and you're not giving us the basic background of why the contract was terminated, and by the time we get to the ministry, that we check. Because every time you sign in, they are sending payments to your WPA, they are following up. The ministry will tell us, no, but this person has not been working for almost 3 months. Why then is he making this up? Let him or her go home, take care of himself or herself, and then you can come back and continue the job. So this is your right. And also the right of the employer. And then, let's now check what is our fundamental right. Whatever we've said is the laws that guide us, that give us the right on, against the law, what we need to do. Let's look at our fundamental rights as workers also. Please, can you share the fundamental rights slide? Okay. Thanks. I think I want to look at number 10. Yeah, number 10 says end of service benefit. So, you're working. You have a contract signed. You sign 1-year contract or you sign 2-year contract. At the end of each of the contract that you sign with your company, there's something called end of service. The law says the company is supposed to give you your end of service after spending a minimum of 1 year with that company under the contract that you signed with them. And the law says your gratuity, the end of service, should not be less than 3 weeks. 3 weeks of your contract service. It means you're working 1 month. You are being paid, let's say, 3,000 riyal. That is for you working for a whole 4 weeks. Your gratuity, when they're going to calculate it, is going to be 21 working days. So you need to understand what you're earning. You need to understand what you are being paid daily. Then you can multiply it by 21 to understand how much you are going to get at the end of your service. So every year you completed, you have a bonus from your company that is called your end of service. Some companies, sometimes they pay it monthly. They will divide it. If your end of service is 3,000 riyal now, they will be paying you maybe 300 riyal every month to add to your salary. Some wait till you finished and pay it to you as a whole. It depends on what you agree with them. But end of service will be 21 days of your working with them after 1 year completion of contract. So you need to understand that when you are trying to deal with it. And also under that, there are some paid holidays that we have in this country which we need to know. First is Eid al-Fitr, which is the Muslim celebration time. Those 3 days that you are off, supposed to be paid. Another one is the second Eid al-Adha. There is also 3 days holiday. You're supposed to be paid for that. It is off, but you have to be paid because it's government holiday, public holidays. The other one is the National Day, which is December 18. It is always a public holiday. You are not supposed to be deducted for not coming to work on that day, unless the company required your presence because of something urgent they need to do. They will definitely pay double of what is your daily salary for that 1 day if you are going to work. The other one is the sports day. We all know sport day is in February, second Tuesday of every February of the year. So whatever it is on that day, you are not supposed to be at work according to the law. And finally, which I know many of us don't know this, you have the right for the year, 3 days. 3 days that the employer is supposed to give you to rest. Every 4 months, you're supposed to take 1 day off. Every 4 months, you're supposed to take another 1 day off. Another 4 months, you're supposed to take 1 day off. This is according to the law. The employer is supposed to give you 3 days. This is out of the public holidays. It is out of the public holidays. So you need to understand that. It is your right. You have the right to ask. This law is under the law of the labor law. You have the right every quarterly to have 1 day off to rest. 3 days in a year. Because of the limited time, I will try to go to the wages protection system. This is very, very important to all of us. At the end of the day, you're working for the whole 1 month. You are supposed to be paid. And you're not getting something that is at the end of the month. There's a law already put in place under law number 1 of 2015, decision number 4 of 2015, which says that in the Qatar government, via an amendment to the Article 66 of the labor law, introduced the mandatory wages protection system designed to ensure the timely and efficient payment of salaries to all workers in Qatar. Under WPS, all employees are obliged to transfer electronically from the Qatari bank accounts the salaries of the workers in local currency into the workers' personal bank accounts in Qatar. Breach of WPS carries both civil and criminal penalties. From this, when this law was enacted, everyone's supposed to be receiving the salary every month in their own account, the account number that you provided for your company. But what we are seeing these days is companies are owing 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. I'm sure many of us within here can check to that. And when you ask them questions, you feel they take it like it is normal. Some of them will not even give you an answer to why they are not paying your salary for 4 or 5 months. Because they felt like maybe they are above the law, or somebody is telling them nothing can happen. No. It is your right to be paid monthly, and you are supposed to receive it in your account every month. If you don't receive it in your account 1 month, 2 months, I'll give you one example. We took a case to the Minister of Labor Dispute Committee. And this person, they are owing him 6 months or 6.5 months salary. The question they asked us there was, why did he wait till 6 months? Why? Why did he wait till 6 months? What I am trying to tell you here and my team is, if your salary is delayed 1 month, please speak up. Speak up legally. Don't be confrontational about it. You don't need to create chaos. You don't need to fight anybody. Approach the HR who is in charge. I'm not getting my salary. What is happening? If there is no proper response, please approach your community heads. We will take it up and see what we can do to assist it. And finally, the good news. We had the meeting 3 weeks ago with the Minister of Labor and the other ministries that are involved. And this is something we've been clamoring for years with our meetings with them. Some companies feel so entitled with this salary delay that they don't care. What can you do to help us to resolve this issue? We brought 2 suggestions to them because in Qatar there is nothing like called unionism. So please, if anyone call you and say, let's come and form a union, you are violating the law. There is no unionism in Doha. But there is association, there is committee. So now we propose to the Ministry of Labor's representative that, can we have workers' committee officially within the company. Because if there's a worker committee that is officially supported and backed by the law, the employer knows that there is an eye in the company that is giving information directly to the Minister of Labor. So that will give them a kind of caution. I can tell you by November, a new law is coming out where Minister of Labor is going to enforce every company to have what we call a workers' committee. By the month of November, there is a new legal law coming out where Minister of Labor is going to make it compulsory for every company to have what they call a workers' committee. And this committee are going to be appointed by the workers themselves. What is their responsibility is to serve as a eye to the government to ensure that the companies are following all due regulations and law without compromise. And this will enable the Minister of Labor also to handle cases as fast, as quick, as early as possible. So I feel with that, we are getting somewhere in Qatar. Because I can tell you 10 years, 15 years ago, you cannot even stand up and talk about it with anybody. But today, with the support of everybody in hand, we are pushing hard to make sure that Minister of Labor and all of us here in this country have a place that is good, comfortable, and for us also to work safely in everywhere we are going. So thank you very much for listening to my little seminar. And if you have questions, I think we will listen to it after. Thank you so much and have a good day.
Okay, so because of our time, we have only but 5 minutes. Oh, is it 5 minutes? Yeah, 5 minutes. I have 5 minutes. So we'll just take like 2 or 3 questions. 2 or 3 questions. I'm not going to be the INEC chairman now. So if you receive the mic, you ask your question. So pass the mic, please, fast.
Please, my question is, for example, was response happened? Please, was I worked for him for 7 months, and I was replaced. So for the rest of the months, other months, I didn't receive anything, and I was not paid by him, even the basic. So I was advised by one of our brothers that coordinates the whole regional Friday school. He said I should find another company transfer. So I'm on the waiting process because it has been approved. I will be transferred fully in November. So, but what I'm asking is that, is it right for me to let him go or put him to the law to pay my basic? I think.
Yeah, thank you, my brother. Can I reply? Okay, sorry. I think this is where I'm going to answer your question. The first thing is, do you have, where is the brother? Do you have a legal signed contract? Same the one I showed? Then if you have that, you can approach us. We can be able to get your salary for you.
Yeah, my question is this. Somebody was brought in by an employer, everything fully paid, QID, everything done. But in less than 2 months, the probation period is 3 months, but in less than 2 months, he was advised to resign or he will be sacked. I know they brought up the story, if we sack you, it will dent your CV and everything. What rights does this person have, if any?
Thank you. Like you rightly said, 3 months is the probation period. I think the company is trying to protect his interests by advising him to resign. Because according to the contract, you have the right to resign during the probation period, both sides. We just have to give the company 1 month notice. So they are giving him an advice so that he can have that 1 month to himself instead of them terminating his contract. So if they don't find him comfortable or competent enough to continue in the system, they have the right to do that. So let him take advantage of that 1 month to resign and look for another company to transfer to as early as possible.
Thanks so much for the enlightenment, sir. In fact, this has really empowered me a lot because I know my employer is going to hear from me very soon. When immediately after I was employed, my employer would tell us that, okay, we are all under Qatar law, and this is the law. I'm a registered nurse, and this is the law guarding our salary and the likes. But when it is time for her to pay, she doesn't pay anything extra. When there is general holiday, no, we must go to work because she will tell us that that is according to the law. Yes. And if you now ask us, okay, according to the Qatar law, we are supposed to be paid extra. She will then tell us that no, that nurses, anything else, we are not under Qatar law. Anything that favors us, she will tell us we are not under labor law. That there is another law that we should operate under. But when it is something that will favor her, that is when she will say we are under Qatar labor law. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, my sister. First, I want to clarify something. Under the labor law, there are some job that is allowed to do those times of hours we're talking about. The medical team, people who are working in the power sectors, they are all listed there. When you go through the slide, because of time, that's why I didn't really mention them. They are there. You are part of those special staff in this country that you need to work. But payment of those timing is compulsory. If you can calculate those times that you work and the extra overtime is not paid with proof, then we can talk about it.
Hello, sir. Sorry, please don't be in a hurry to go, sir. My name is Comrade Martins.
No.
I'm less than 3 months in this country, and I just noticed something, and I really want to ask, why is Nigerians omitted from the visa quota in companies in this country? I asked it because I just finished registration of my company, and I found out that Nigerians were omitted among the 10 quota given to me for employers. So why is this so? That's number one. Secondly, what is your organization, NIDO, doing to sanitize the image of Nigerians in diaspora, okay, that have been so battered by the government? Okay, we are suffering for the sins we did not commit. You understand? So what is NIDO doing to sanitize the image of Nigerians in diaspora so that we will not be affected by what others have caused unto us? It's not a sin to be a Nigerian. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. I'm going to start answering from the second question. I think if you listen to me very well, I just informed you that I, standing in front of you, a Nigerian man, based in this country for like 18 years now, was just appointed by the Minister of Labor as the country advisors to the government. It's a positive thing, right? So Nigerians are not battered. Nigerians are doing great in this country. It only depends on the angle you get it from. But I can tell you with my full chest, we are sitting on the table of the people who run this government, and we are contributing positively as a Nigerian. So just take it from there, and let that keep rolling. When you meet one, there is no society that don't have the mixed side. But we always have that kind of little things. The other one you're talking about, for Nigerian visa, there is nothing like visa quota. There is nothing like visa quota. We always misconcept that. There is nothing like visa quota. The government has a number of each nationality that has to be in the country. They have. That's what you have to understand. They are managing their population. They know the number of nationality we need to have. If that number of nationality has got to that point, they will suspend the visas. I can tell you people are getting Nigerian visas every day. It depends on the sector your company is into. Exactly, it depends. So it depends on that sector that will be able to give you the ability to what? To get those visa quotas, but nothing has to be done. Also, a clarification. There was a message that came of recent, sorry please, about transit, visit visa, higher visa, that Nigerian men were stopped. It is fallacy. It's a lie. Nigerian men were not banned from entering Qatar through higher visa. It is just false. Because Qatar Minister of Labor also debunked it. So sometimes some of these bloggers bring a lot of things out just to sell things and make their page look so beautiful. But I always say, let us be the positive side of the story. Don't let us contribute negativity to whatever is going on. Thank you very much, and have a good day, my brother.
Our time is up, please. We're already 2 minutes gone. I just wish we could continue.